All right, we're in here. Well, we're back for round two. We almost
Yes,
missed
we
round
are.
two. We almost missed it, but you know what? We're here. That's what matters.
Just in time for round three.
That's what matters. Exactly. uh, round two was a good one. I just ran through all the songs like 20 minutes ago. First
Nice.
listens. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluating everything that's going on. And I'm excited to kind of go through some of the stuff that people have submitted, what we've been kind of talking about. We'll talk about some production and all that good stuff as well. I guess let's go around and introduce. PZ, you want to go first?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the audience probably knows me as one of the admins for this VPC at this point, but yeah, I've been a contestant for many years prior to that. So yeah.
Welcome in, welcome in. The one and only Tanner. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, yeah, so also, yeah, been in the VPC a long time, in nerdcore in general, probably since close to the dawn of nerdcore times, I think. 2005-ish? 2006? Yeah, probably 2005. So about 20 years now. I'm very old and I'm gonna die next week. But no, it's been producing with a lot of people here for a long time and mainly beefy obviously, but it's fun and I look forward to it every year. And I was sad while it was gone for a little bit.
I love it. And then our newest member of our podcast. I don't
Yeah.
know. We got Artemis in the building.
What up? What up?
Who are you? Who do you know?
Um,
Who are your peoples?
Representative of Goldbrick Olympics officially. Um, I used to be in the VPC a lot. Then I decided I couldn't do it this year because I was too busy. But I've had fun producing and being a vocalist and part of it. So shouts to that, man. So yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. You're also you're like half vocalist, half producer. Yeah.
yeah, basically, yeah,
You say about 50-50. I feel like you're
yeah,
making beats as much as you're rapping.
right, yeah, yeah. It's about right around there.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll have some good insight for us for sure on like I'm excited to see kind of what your thoughts are on some of these songs and
Right.
um
Mm-hmm.
and just production in general.
Mm-hmm.
Uh so Shubs is very upset. I don't know why, but
What's she upset
Yeah,
about?
I forgot to
I
open
don't
the
know.
stream. I need to do that.
What I do? What I do, Shucks?
But yeah, let's go over some of the stuff that we've seen. Is there from this round, from round two? Do you guys have any favorites? Do you have any songs that really like stood out to any of you? Go ahead, and whoever wants to start.
Yeah. So I mean, again, for me, it's Art Crow. Like, I just love the
Mhm.
production too much.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, like, whenever I'm talking about stuff, people should understand that lyrics are some of the least thing I listen to when I'm listening to a song. Like, because I've been producing for so long, like the music and just the general composition and everything is what's going to attract me the most, and delivery of vocals too. But the actual lyrics themselves, I'm not going to be really rating that too much because it goes right over my head a lot of times, especially on the first listen. So
Mhm.
from that aspect, at least, I wanted to put that out there because I was talking to Beefy and he was saying Art Crow was not his favorite, and I was curious why. And
What?
I think some of the lyrics he didn't understand, and it could just be a subject matter. But I thought the production is just they're my favorite this whole competition. I predict. I think consistently they're going to blow me away with how their songs are put together and the way the production sounds.
I know from my side, I didn't have as much of like a standout favorite this round. And I noticed like my tastes for judging and kind of listening have changed over the years of the VPC. Like I used to do reviews for every round and like do one big sit down listen with like my headphones and everything. And this VPC, I've been kind of just like playing the songs on repeat, having them in the background, on like the YouTube or just kind of like things going while I'm working on the site or like doing my job. So like I'm noticing I'm much more drawn to a vibe this time around, or just like production quality that stands out rather than again, kind of like sinking in. So I'm much more drawn to like strong hooks or like memorable vibes or even like a really punchy, couple lyrics rather than, just being like, oh, bars while I'm, kind of running through things. So, um, I, there were like a solid, I think 6 or 8 tracks that just kind of all go really well with each other in this like round, which I thought was more interesting. If you just play this as a playlist, I think it's actually like shockingly cohesive for a playlist. But I know one that I can call out that really stood out to me was what is it? Firefly Fantastic this round. Like every time that song comes on the playlist, I'm like, yeah, it's that time again. So I think that is like my standout just for like it's such like an interesting switch up for this round that I thought was a lot of fun. So yeah, yeah.
I like it. I like it. Artemis, how about
Oh,
you?
yo, I said it before in the chat. Daposaurus this round. I thought Daposaurus landed everything I was probably looking for. Um, and like, and it's never been like Daposaurus. Like every time I've heard their stuff, it's never been like I thought they were terrible or anything like that. I feel like they've always done stuff I've appreciated, but I never like would rank them as high, you know. But for some reason, they just somehow they just like landed right with this round, man. And I was like that. I'd never heard that was probably their best I've ever heard them do. And I like the overall production, the way the bars were delivered. The hook was like interesting. I thought it worked out. It was them and man, I always mix up their name. It's idealistic. Uh, that's a long ass name.
Idealistic Mystics. Yeah.
Yeah, idealistic mystics. I like that song though. I was like, it was going to be either of those two. Um, Definitely Art Crow was kind of like in the top 10. I'd say I had Young Sullivan up there in top 10. Uh, Empanabi was in the top 10. With the rest, I did like the Rusty Chocolate like concept and track. It was cool. Um, there were a couple of them. I need to like re-listen to them again. But I just remember like the ones that caught my ear the most were those and Southern Demon Nerd. Southern Demon Nerd. Yeah. They've been cooking.
Yeah.
They've been cooking this whole VPC so far.
Right. Some
So
standouts for sure. Yeah, is
mhm.
there? I haven't had a chance to cross verify, but is there anybody that we lost from round one, from a submission standpoint?
I think we lost 3, but one of them was like the Firefly Fantastic switch up where the
Mm,
vocalist dropped and the producer decided to keep going, so it counts as a different team.
gotcha.
I think we're net down 3, but it only shows us like down 2 from the first round. But yeah.
You know, that's not a terrible turnaround. I've seen worse.
Mhm.
I was expecting like up to half the teams to drop, and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be crazy if we're down to only 10 teams left by like, round 3 or something crazy. But yeah, people are sticking in. I'm happy for it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that I mean, since we're here kind of to talk about production, I've noticed that like from a mixing standpoint, maybe not from a beat making standpoint, but from a mixing standpoint, things are feeling a little more rushed than last
Yeah.
round.
Hmm.
I think, or that steam starts to kind of deplete a little bit as you go through this competition. I know for myself, like I normally by the third round, I was like pretty much I didn't care anymore from a mixing
Mhm.
standpoint. Like obviously I'm still gonna mix, obviously I'm still gonna put in the work, but I'm less like specific and more just like, all right, this feels good, let's just keep moving. Like I'm running out of steam. I don't have the time to just sit here and just work an EQ for 6 hours trying to get it right. So we're starting to feel a little bit of that, not completely, but there's some little things I noticed where it's like, oh, this song, like it doesn't feel as full, or this song is a little too light and it's like missing some bass to it, or things like that. Just little production things where if they had a little bit more time with it, it probably would have been perfect.
Mhm.
I think we should listen to something. What do you guys want to listen to first?
I'm gonna scroll the list real quick. I mean, I wouldn't be mad about hearing that Southern Demon Nerd song again.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me run that one.
Oh, yeah.
Sloppy, riding the jalopy, messy, sloppy, riding the jalopy, sloppy, riding the jalopy. Don't be fucking with my dogs, or else nobody's gonna be dropped.
I'm messy, sloppy, riding a jalopy. I'm loving myself, ain't nobody gonna stop me. What's poppin'? What's happening? I'm trapping like them crabbing. I'm rapping like I have a bomb strapped to my abdomen. And if this track gets over 80 beats per minute, I'm killing this song and everybody in it. I'm just kidding, I'm just messing. Been too busy counting blessings. I've been busting out the abacus, cause I can't count on heaven. Me and Taco Bill and Ted, we on an excellent adventure. Yo, fuck that bogus journey shit. We hit that with that finisher, that signature, fatality, malady, that friendship. Death is now the homie, that's a Mortal Kombat kid shit. Oh yeah, it's the Kool-Aid man. I'm breaking down your walls like you own a Kool-Aid can. I don't know if all of y'all are in the Kool-Aid fan shit. I'm just trying to get a sponsorship from Kool-Aid's brand. Oh yeah, keep the Macho Man swagger and we savages. The point out here is to break the laws of averages. Got Popeye mechanics. Instead of spinach, I use cannabis. It helps me dodge the bullets from these red-pilled fanatics. I mean fanatics, keeping the skeletons up in the closet, keeping the demons in the attic. Got some water at my feet, I've been staring at my cat. Me and Taco been to hell and back, still don't know where it's at. Yo, playing devil's advocate, it takes a lot of patience. You take us out the game and who the fuck are the replacements? Just face it, there are no replicas, and that's the whole truth. These fakers bout as useless as a Dracula with no tools. I'm so loose, Bessie, I ain't talking soccer. I like sloppy joes and slopping, topping, popping off on knock knockers. So rock vodka, a neon demon street king. Mix it with the Kool-Aid through a scanner, darkly see things.
All right, we'll stop it there.
Yeah.
Listen, like, okay. First of all, let's just go with the beat, right? It's like very in the pocket. It's like very like it's good enough for the vocalist to like get their shit off, but it always depends on the vocalist and what they can do. The rapper obviously knows what they're doing. They don't need overcomplicated as like metaphors and similes, you know? So he's using his personality to his advantage, you know? And I felt like that made that one of the top joints for me, you know? And plus, you know, you can redefine what a nerd is, man. He crazy and psycho talking about Dracula with no tooth. Like, he's saying a lot of, like, cool shit in it, but it's not overly crazy. Like, he's making sure that his personality stands out amongst the beat and it fits. Like, and I think that's what made it a strong track. I think I probably didn't say it won the round because it was just something about it fell short. I still kept my finger on it, but I really liked all of it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it kind of lacked a hook, right? Like, I mean,
I think
there's
so,
a
that's
strong
what it
vibe, but like, if you put this on a playlist, right? Like, what do you remember 20 minutes or an hour after you hear it, right? Except like bars, you know, or like the vibe. That to me is something that I've noticed, and even earlier when I would make songs for the VPC, it was always like, how do we get a big hook that people are going to remember after? And that's something I kind of carry through is like, you need to give people something they're going to remember like an hour or a day after. But yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I think there's always a team or two that are like kind of perfection, where you're like, okay, this is locked in. They know what they're doing. They've done this before. This is just working. But as we've seen over the years, is like, it's not that that's not enough, but the fan base, the voting side, it's like they want maximum creativity, right? And so like that creativity is king. And not that this song isn't, because it is, like there's so much style happening in this. But sometimes, something crazy is just enough to push the song over, even if maybe the mixing is not perfect or the vocal take isn't perfect, or like it's just enough to be like, but that was a crazy line, or that was a crazy hook, or they did
Mhm.
something really wild in there that
Mhm.
made it stand out. But
Mhm.
yeah, I agree though. I do think that this is from like just song creation standpoint. This might be one of the best song creation structures. It's missing a hook. That's the
Yeah.
which I'm okay with. Coming from a like rap background and loving rap music, it's
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
I don't always need a hook.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
I feel like if this was on an album, it would be one of the favorites from an album
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
for a competition, I think you're exactly right. That was a
Yeah.
great way of explaining it.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I love it. So one of the things, maybe PZ, what's the round rules for the production side?
Yeah, give me 1 second because I will pull them up and we can actually go through them. Hang on.
Cool. Yeah, because that might help us.
Yeah, so this one we had the crates, and I want to specifically call out, right, that this was Cloth and Pop's like baby for challenge ideas, and I love this like so much.
Mhm.
But the
Mhm.
idea was he curated like a set of crates, record crates, right? And the idea was I forget how many specifically we had. I think it was four. But the idea was you had to actually pick a record out of each one of the crates and use that to essentially mix into your song. So the actual line is create a song that uses at least one sample from each VPC digital record crate in a significant way. The samples do not need to remain recognizable to their source, but please provide us with timestamp lists of the tracks, so we had to get the actual list. So, yeah, that was it from the producer side, but yeah.
Love it. That kind of makes me mad that I didn't jump in the VPC because of that. Because that's
Yeah.
exactly something I would love to be a part of. So.
I've got a similar feeling to you, even though I'm in the VPC, because Beefy are doing like metal and punk this time. And so to not be
Yeah.
able to take full advantage of a sampling round fucking killed me, man. Especially when it was set up so good. I was like, man, maybe we should just switch genres right now. Because I wanted to like really take advantage of it in that way. But I might work some of them into future tracks. We'll see how that goes.
There you go. There you go.
No doubt. Yeah.
The selection was so good. I listened to every single one, and yeah, that was excellent.
Shout
Can
out
I
to Cloud.
make a... Oh, yeah, this was a fantastic idea. I also do have a quick production note coming to us live, courtesy of Twitch chat. Bill, can you turn up the gain on your mic?
Oh, yeah, I bumped myself up a little bit.
Okay,
Hopefully that helps.
cool. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, no, I like this round idea. This is the type of round that I like. I turn it up a little bit more. Actually, let me check my.
That may have been a delayed message.
It might
but
have been. It might have.
We'll
been.
see.
Yeah.
It's come through like
good.
5 times. Yeah.
I might have my.
Just
that's
clip
what
it.
is.
Just clip it. Yeah.
Turn
There
it
we
to
go.
the
There we
right.
go. There we go. I didn't have my compressor turned on. You know what I mean? Sometimes a little compression will go a long way.
See? Got your notes already.
All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, that feels better. Yeah, like so. This round is like, this is like home for me for a round, as like the mainly only samples type of producer. You know what I mean? Like I barely touch a keyboard. It's mainly just flipping samples and making them collages and doing that. Like that's where I work best. So like I could tell that a lot, and I understand that that's not most producers like home, right? Most of them are on a keyboard doing some melodical or playing instruments, and that's they're two very different worlds. Two different ways to think about production as well. And like I could tell in some of the production that like people were like, okay, we're making this work, versus some of them were like, oh, this is what we do, and so it's one of those rounds where I'm sure there's a handful of people in this competition that are competing that are like, I hate this round.
Yeah, I've always kind of like put myself in the second category of like I'm not very sample driven in my flows usually, but I feel like one of the things I liked a lot about this round was there was room for creativity in any direction you could take it, because I mean, nothing stops you from, chopping out like specific, melodic elements or like putting those into like a what is it, like a granular synthesizer and like turning some of those into instruments, which by the way is like what a lot of teams did in round one,
Right.
where it was like that whole track was you had to like create a sample and turn it into an instrument. You could have literally just reused the challenge from round one on any of the record crates and like created, a whole ton of melodic instruments that way too. So,
Very true. Very
I
true.
feel like, yeah, if you could have had fun, I think, no matter which way you sliced it, like, if you just built on what you did for round one too. So, yeah.
Right. Right.
I think part of it too, like, I mean, knowing that there are crates to dig through, I mean, maybe that's the thing, maybe that's a tradition that some of us have gone through, where you go into a record store, you look through a dollar bin for like something that you'd never heard of, you took it back, you sampled it, thought, oh man, I could use that drum break for something, or I could use that. Like, I feel like the nostalgia of that in the digital format kind of puts you in that mode, like, oh man, like when you're sitting down with these records, you're just thinking, oh yeah, if I heard this in the record store, I would completely take that drum break and do something with it. And I feel like, in the modes of like different producers think in different ways, the cats that didn't come up like that, And I can understand people being like, I don't like this round. It's just a bunch of damn digging and crazy shit. But it's a fun. It's always been a fun exercise, in my opinion. So
No, I agree 100%. I've always loved going to. Here we got a place called Half Price Books, but they've got this whole record section. And yeah, they've got like this rack underneath the records that's all these scratched up, fucked up, like they're like singles for like 99 cents.
Yeah.
I mean that and like just looking through the regular records for the best like album art, right, from stuff I have, like
exactly.
It's so fun. It's really I don't know. I'd sample on every single beat if I didn't want to get sued one day, but
Yeah. I had to stop.
I love sampling.
I had to stop sampling like that. I had to switch up, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
See, to me, it's like if I go to a record store and I'm looking at the records, like my headspace is like, one of these records has something on it that will make the greatest beat ever made. Something in there, you know what I mean? Whether I find it or not, there's something in this pile that is the perfect beat.
That moment when you come home and you just start listening to them all. I mean, sometimes I would just let the whole album play out just because I wanted to make sure like there's nothing hidden in there that I missed.
Right.
But yeah, 100% just that process. It's so good.
Right. Yeah. So these are it's a kind of a fun way to do it. I think I personally would have pushed for the sample to be noticeable. Not exact, but like, like you could kind of point and be like, oh, I know where that's from. Even though it's maybe chopped up and maybe it's pitch shifted, but it still has a little bit of the DNA of what the original was. Just to, close that box a little bit more, right? So that you can't necessarily just turn everything into an instrument, which is totally still, there's value to that 100%. But in talking about samples and stuff like that, I'll start with Artemis. Like, what's your process going into a crate of records, let's say? Like, is there, like what stands out to you? What are you looking for? What starts the thought process, I guess?
Man, it's a good question. For me, all right, it's going to be a couple of things because first of all, you're looking at our artwork and maybe thinking like this might have a decent break or a melody that I could find for the most part. So like thinking maybe if it's an album that's probably about like 10 tracks, you're thinking, I could probably get maybe 3 items off of this. That's how I usually look at it. So like, let's say for example, there's like a 70s like jazz record, right? And maybe and this happens all the time. It's like a record that it was probably kind of popular, but you didn't hear about it too tough. Like this, and it always happens. I find a joint, and usually I'll just come across that one part of a break, and I look for like clearness in the drums. So like I could chop up the kick with the snare, hopefully I can get a hi hat, or maybe there's like a drum roll in there I can get. I try to look for ways so I could like either loop it or I could break it up and chop it. Now, if it's like melodies or bass lines, I mean that's a whole different story. I mean, sometimes you wanna grab a melody that you can manipulate well or chop up, and sometimes it's just good loops. And then sometimes there's a bass line under those melodies. I try to like listen for all that at the same time and make a decision like, all right, do I keep the melody and then I try to like flip the bass line like underneath it with some effects? Or do I just take the melody, EQ out whatever is on the low end, and then I just grab a bass from somewhere else and flip that? It's like a lot of decisions you make whenever you're listening. And with your ear, you just gotta like make. It's like you gotta make decisions on what you want to hear in the process, and then you're thinking, all right, I got this melody, but what are other things that I can add in it? Do I want to add random ass weird sounds in it? Do I want to add some vocals maybe? Do I want to add like the saxophone or maybe a trumpet? Or let me go crazy, add like a damn cello and see if it sounds right. I don't know. But if you want to like, but you're making sure it's in key and it matches with everything that you're putting together. That's what I usually do. It took me a while to get to that process because for a while I was just grabbing samples and then just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this beat, and then I let it loop the same way for about damn 4 minutes, and because I just wanted to rap over it. And then I realized, no, you gotta have change ups, and you just gotta like, make sure that in the end there's something interesting going on in the beat somehow, even if you're making it for a vocalist, or like if you're a self-producer like myself, you gotta make sure there's room for what you can do as a vocalist, but also it's something that's like challenging to the ear to the listener too at the same time. And it just takes practice after a while. So that's my process basically.
I like it. Who else wants to go next?
I was agreeing with a lot of what he said. I mean, I go through a lot of the same thought processes, but if I'm just trying to find something, like I said earlier, the artwork is a big deal. But also because I want to use these things at some point, I'll usually look for, albums on record labels or distributors that I've never heard of, with hopes that it'll be easy enough to get away with. And I know you can pretty much get away with a lot these days. I don't think that there's a lot of litigation going on over sampling unless you become notable, right? Like, so I don't know. I still just kind of look for that instinctually, but also I think that's important because if you grab a record that sold 20 million copies, there's a good chance someone else may take that sample or has taken that sample. And I really like finding the unique stuff to really do interesting things with. But just as a quick aside, I did find a really great disco album once. Disco and funk are like the genres I kind of lean towards when I'm looking for stuff like that. But there was one that I was for sure would be fine, and I actually tried to do things the right way. And I contacted whoever, I looked up who owned the rights, and I contacted them, and I said, I will give you like 100% of the earnings from this song. I want to use it, like, I wanted to use it that bad. And I offered like $1,000 up front, all the earnings from the song. I think even at some point, like 50% from the entire album earnings. And they still said they wanted like $20,000. And I said, I went and I looked them up. Like, this artist had like 100 monthly listeners on Spotify at this point. This was an album from 50, 60 years ago, and no one had kept up with them, continued listening to them, whatever. And they were adamant, like they had to have $20,000. So I dropped it completely, and it's something I can share privately, but it is one of my favorite songs we've ever done, and I'm too afraid to put it out there now because I asked to do it the right way. If I had never asked and just did it, it'd never be a problem.
Right.
Someone might go looking for it one day. I don't know. Now I'm kind of nervous with all the technology there is for identifying songs, right? So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I probably should just release it, but the right people have heard it at least by now.
20 G's though, fuck that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, typically, yeah, I just I find a record like that, I bring it home, I listen to it, and I just start recording, and that way I don't have to go back if I miss something. But I do try and take notes whenever I come across a timestamp. I'm like, all right, in the file I'm recording, it's here at the 15-minute mark or whatever, right? So, you know, it's a fun process, and I don't think it's too different from what anyone else does.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. PZ, how about you? You have a process for sampling?
I don't do it often enough, but I will say this, right? Like, what I like with a lot of what I have sampled is there's a very live and authentic feeling to it. Like, it feels like there was a vibe in the room where a lot of that was recorded. You just can't kind of match, like, one, I think some of the musicianship or just some of, like, the in-person kind of energy that's on, like, a lot of the samples that I'll go for. And so as someone who tries to do a lot of recording or like production myself for like my own instrumentation, I like to try and almost insert myself into that room is kind of how I approach like a lot of the samples that I use. So I know Dan and I, like the last VPC, we had one where we were sampling like the soundtrack from Hamilton. Even more contemporary, but you know, I still kind of remember like playing guitar over like a lot of that and trying to like, to me, like trying to lay your own instrumentation over an existing sample also, I think comes with a lot of challenges because it's not just like the simple stuff, right? Like matching a tempo or a key, but like you really start to kind of like pay more attention to some of the actual like nuances to how things were recorded or like you know, the imperfections with things, especially if you go further back. So I think that's the only other piece of this that I would add is trying to play off like the energy on kind of an album or like a live recorded kind of jam, you know, building around that. So yeah, no,
I fully agree. I think, you know, one of the struggles for somebody early getting into sampling is you're taking something like you're saying that's organically recorded, analog, there's no tempo to it really, you know, like everything's kind of moving as they're recording it, and then trying to figure out how to jam that into a drum machine. And that is, you know, a robot. So like, you know, melding those two worlds together and getting the movement right, making it still feel natural in the way that it moves, and not to mention like, you know, shifting your tempo in a way to even change the rhythm of it. You know, like if something is in a rhythm, changing just the BPM and where the kicks and snares are landing can completely change the rhythm. So there's so much to it, which is why I love it, because it's like, it's one of those things where like your typical like, you know, rock band might look at sampling and be like, that's stupid, you know, like you're stealing, this isn't music, you know, all those kinds of things come up. And it's like, if you actually look at it as a structure, it's like there's some crazy math that's happening to make this, you know, come together at the end. It's really easy to do, but to do it right is the hard part, you know, to like actually, you know, make people be like, oh, this sounds like music. It doesn't sound like a robot. But yeah, so again, I this is a round that I would, if I was competing, I would be like, this is my round. This is, and of course, Klopp putting together some samples. I think that's, you know, as long as I've known Klopp, he's been collecting samples and putting together crates. So this was right at home for Klopp as well.
I will continue to sing his praises on this, because not only did he like put together the crates, right? He also went through and individually ID3 tagged all of them. So everything that was pushed out was actually like fully, like he set up the metadata for it and everything. So it was all consistent and formatted. So yeah, huge thanks on that one. But yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
I can tell a lot of love was put into it.
Yes.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Shout out to Klopp, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's play another song and we can talk about it.
I know Idealistic Mystics asked to be put into rotation here, but yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let me find it. Okay, yeah, I'll run it.
Another personal album, gang, and this time we've got a real treat for you.
The psyche wild west brings slingers of health and rapid
beside them to remind them is the shadow self. Was not brought into consciousness, can seem to us as states. Bird boots navigate what lasts us integrate. This county draws the rowdy, proclaiming oh so proudly. Rough edges obscured, gun smoke cloudy. Those aging hinge doors, house hidden storyboards. While there's a thunderstorms, puppet a persona performance. Well, shadow's not a villain, some urges unfulfilled. And when shadow manifests, slingers try to curb the realness. The yin and yang fingers wiggle inches from the trigger. Where there's tension and repression, it's a showdown of two killers. Showdown. You got a shadow showdown. Showdown. When you hear the iron sound, how the shadows show, shadows showdown. Shadow showdown. Behind you in this town, how the shadows show, shadows showdown. The procession coffin carries a marriage necessary. Two halves of a fractured combat as adversaries. There's no light without shadow, no home without imperfection. The slinger must learn the intention of this lesson. A summon bravery, a state of mental being, understanding, embody a ghost duality. The slinger, the shadow, meet on the fields of battle, raising up their weapons. Instead they break their shackles, then dead silence, love for one. Guitar strung by young shadow work, overcome is not easily disturbed. It's unshakably calm. In the duel they summon a soul harmonious. We should not become enlightened by matching figures of light. Pop on peak in the darkness, conscience is that eternal fight. Those who consider themselves higher live their life like a liar. The difference in a good or bad life is how well you walk the fire.
The speed change, right? Someone changes here.
Having a hard time in this crazy town. Having a hard time.
All right, I'm gonna stop it there.
Damn.
I thought there was like a speed change in there. Maybe there is. There's still like another, I don't know, 40 seconds left in the song, but
I can see that.
that was it's a journey. What do you all think? We'll do a quick takes.
I have one that I have to throw out. So, does anybody hear "Pepper" by the Butthole Surfers every time they hear like the verse one like delivery? Because it's all I hear, and it just sticks with me every time I hear this song. But,
I haven't heard it, but I'll have to go listen to it.
Yeah. The comparison, it sticks to me every time. But yeah,
I love it. Artemis, how you feeling?
I feel like, like I said, I have this rank high. Production wise, it definitely had like a very you know what? I mean, I don't even say production wise. I think vocally, it reminded me of like Quantum or Soul Sides, like kind of like DJ Shadow was producer for Lyrics Born a little bit, you know, because the roughness of the track is just hidden. And then the dude's delivery is just like, it reminds me of like the older like Lyrics Born where he was flowing a lot slower, you know, and like in the pockets of it. The only thing that kind of took me back a little bit, and I was just like, can't understand really what's going on, was the dialogue before the second hook came in. I couldn't tell if that was part of the verse or if it was just like some dialogue they wanted to go with to end it out. But other than that, that song was hitting, and the Baby Huey sample. Come on, Hard Times, man. I just got through reading about like Baby Huey too, like a couple months ago. So hearing that, I was just like, yeah, that was fire. So.
Tanner, how about you?
Yep. I was feeling pretty heavy Danger Mouse vibes off his style.
Yeah.
On that one, and I think it could just be biased because of the Western sample and how, crazy was like the biggest Gnarls Barkley hit. But it didn't remind me of it necessarily, but like just the style, I think of I don't know. It's hard to explain. Kind of what you said about DJ Shadow and the kind of the roughness of it. Like it reminded me of Danger Mouse for the same reasons, actually. So, which I'm sure Shadow's got to be a huge influence on him too. So it all comes from the same place. But yeah, just I as far as sample usage, I think that was like one of my favorites. Like we were talking about earlier, leaving a lot of the original song in and just finding a way to make it your own. Like he did a really great job of that.
Right, right. Yeah, I think there's from a production standpoint, like this is somebody that's very comfortable with samples. And like I think something that the more comfortable you get, the more you start honing in on specific sections of things. So like the samples were chopped, they knew where they wanted the samples to be, they figured out the pocket immediately, and then they were like, okay, but what about the texture? Like let me bring the texture out of what this is. And that's some like advanced sampling techniques. Like you're like so confident in what you chopped that you're like, I'm gonna really dial in some weird stuff now. And so with the drums, with the bass, how it sits, with the sample where it's kind of poking out and kind of has its own elements to it. The only thing that like my only argument with it or gripe with it is that the vocal is such a low tone vocal, and it kind of hides in the low tone of what's happening. And which kind of brings me to another question for everyone is like when you're producing a beat for somebody, are you thinking about their vocal tone? Like, are you picking samples or melodies based on what their vocal range is or what you expect them to do with it? I know that gets a little bit weird here with VPC because there's a timeline. So they have to make a beat, really like predict what their vocalist is going to do, and kind of mix for that a little bit early on and be like, okay, this is the pocket I want them to sit in, or I think they can sit in. But for all of you, is that something that you take into account when you're making a beat?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I try. It's kind of weird because I think beforehand, like when I worked with Cordless, Shubs, and VCL, I think our conversation of the type of artists that we like came into play, and like that kind of helped me like with the direction of what kind of production I can make out of the challenges. So it was kind of like a dice roll too, I think I had a lot of fun kind of guessing what would happen with Shubs' voice on certain things, because I was just like, because it kind of made me think of if I give her something like this, what is she gonna do with this? And like when Scrubs came about, I was just like, I think I can do something interesting to kind of where I'm throwing my flavor in there, and it could like sit well with what she wants to do over the track. And I was like, and it was cool because I'm remembering the conversation of what we have, and it's not even just me like knowing their skill set. It's me like knowing I know where this can go. Like when me and Corpus worked together on Somnambulist, that track, I kind of knew that we could kind of hone in on some things that we've been talking about before, and his skill set and what he could do. So, it's I feel like that's what kind of the process is too. You guys having a good understanding of where you're at as a producer and where they're as a vocalist, and y'all meet somewhere in the middle, right, what you could give them.
Right.
Yeah. I think from my side, I just very simply try not to have something compete with my vocalist, right? So
right.
I usually like try and learn the register they're going to sit in, and like it's hard to put everything together like in advance. So it's something I think, especially with something like the VPC, you kind of learn your partner's style more over time, and they might have a couple like variations, but roughly like where they're going to sit in the mix on things. So like if I have somebody who's coming in baritone, like I wouldn't want like a strong melodic guitar that tries to like compete with them, or if you're working with like a female vocalist, like a lot of like synths or melodies that you might try and work, like you're gonna want to like carve that space out for your vocalist. And I think for me, it's a big thing of just like try not to have a major instrument competing. You can do a lot of heavy lifting with EQ to like make a mix shine, but I think you can take a lot of hours of pain and suffering and knob tweaking off your plate by just kind of picking the right sounds for your partner. But yeah.
Right.
It's kind of what I mean, what you're saying is exactly what it took me a long time to learn, which is like you can get a great mix much faster by just having a good composition. And I think for the longest time, like I was making shit way too complicated behind the beat. And there's another unique aspect to it for me is like I've worked with other people for sure, but like mainly just Beefy for the past 18 years. So I've gotten very used to where his voice sits on the mix and on the equalizer. So yeah, I think about that a lot more now for sure. I mean, in the past, I feel like I've started to kind of wake up to what makes a good composition in like the past 6 to 7 years. Whereas, like, I'm not saying like I didn't like what I was making before, but I think what I make now is much more complementary to hip hop, and allowing room for the vocalist voice to breathe in the mix, right? So, yeah, I'd say I usually try and carve out that mid-high range for sure, knowing that his vocals are going to be sitting right there, and try not to put any like big lead instruments or anything like you said, like no big instruments,
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
You can definitely do a lot and get complicated with it, but you need to be very careful about what you add and where.
Right.
So, otherwise, just something I've heard for a couple decades now. Keep it simple, dummy. That's it.
Right. Very true.
Nope.
Yeah. I think, from my side, I think I've just grown to hear that in the sample that I'm selecting. You know what I mean? Like part of knowing where a sample works is also kind of knowing where it's going to fit within a beat comparatively to a vocalist. But I would say one of the things that I've kind of recently been doing more of, which I didn't do a lot of before, like I've done a lot of like sidechain compression. And I love a good sidechain compression when it comes to drums and samples and the way they interact with each other and kind of the glue to it. But what I've been doing a little bit more of lately is doing sidechain EQ with a vocalist into the melody or into the sample. And so like it just kind of carves out a little bit of space wherever that vocalist is and it rides with them. And as long as you don't do it too aggressively, it just kind of keeps the pocket open for them. So,
man, I've thought about that for a long time and never tried it. So you convinced me I should give it a shot.
It's like another like I remember when I first learned about sidechain compression and I first started doing it, and I had a friend that was like, "Oh, you should do the EQ version of it." There's an EQ side of this. And I was like, no, like that's too complicated. I don't want to do that. I just learned the compression side. I think that's enough. And now, it's been 10 years and I'm like, okay, let me try playing with this. And it just kind of, it's almost like an easy fix. Like you kind of could just throw it on and it'll kind of do a lot of the little bit of work for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fan.
Can I ask when you're doing it? Because I'm kind of with Tanner on this one where I have never actually set up a sidechain EQ, but it's one of those ideas where I'm like, I've looked at it a couple times, but I'm like, that's a lot of, especially I work in FL Studio, so it's like a lot of like automation for specific knobs and things. So I'm like, okay, are you automating specific bands or like are you side chaining? Like how are you running your side chain for the EQ?
So for me, a big part of it is that I use FabFilter EQ, which is like, it does so much more than I even know. You know what I mean? Like it's so much more capable than I'm even aware of. And the way that I have been doing it is I'm, just taking a vocal, aiming it at my melody. And I normally, I keep it pretty simple. I normally pull like maybe -3 at like 1K, like kind of right where a vocal is at its peak. And I just let that ride back a little bit, and I just let it, kind of bounce within there. So not a lot of automation. Really, I'm just kind of set and forget. Yeah. And just kind of listening with my ears to feel like, is it distracting? Like, is it dipping too much in a weird way, or is it really making the pocket possible? And then obviously this is something that you would want to do after you've already EQ'd and compressed your vocals, because that's a big game changer, right? Like if none of that's happened yet, then you really don't know how it's feeding into your melody. So it's kind of like a later step in the mixing process for me. I'm sure other people use it other ways, but yeah.
I used to be really into surgical EQ, like, oh, I'm going to put a notch here, and I'm going to put a notch here, and a notch here, and then I realized that was just, like, killing the sound, so I started going the complete opposite direction and going for more, like, 3-band EQs, and just being like, all right, I'm going to bring some low end down here, and if there's something left over in the sub, fine, whatever. And I think that helped a lot, but now I'm kind of leaning a little bit back towards the center, and I think that's kind of where you are with the Fab Filter EQ. I literally just used that for the first time, like, a week ago. At a friend's studio, and I said, okay, maybe I should have been looking at this for a while now. But I mean, I've just been using the stock EQ in Ableton, like EQ8. That's all I've been using for years and years now.
Right.
But maybe it's time to look at one more EQ plugin.
My take had kind of evolved over the year. Like I stuck on the simple side with you again. Like I'm like, I almost got to the point where it was just like a filter. Like I would almost just like low pass or high pass things at specific points, and then I wouldn't mind like putting on a couple layers of EQ, but it would be like just to target specific things in very specific ways. I would be like, I'm gonna cut out some of the low end of like, you know, a guitar so it doesn't conflict with like my drums or my bass. Like just very simple, like this is the exact one thing I want this to do. And I would never go like the surgical approach, but then, you know, I might have like one to address like the low end, and then like a separate EQ just to like cut the high end. But then like it's for each EQ layer that I'm adding on is like to make sure that things play nicely in specific ends with specific instruments. So I've never hesitated to put on like 2 or 3 layers of EQ and then just like make it targeted for the exact one thing that I want out of that EQ. But yeah,
right.
You guys are better than me. Like mixing is like my worst trait as far as like production, because I don't usually. I would usually go to the studio with the engineer to do work that magic, because usually it's like stuff that I don't hear in the track that I just need the engineer to listen for, and they'll just tweak it. But I think for the VPC, and I think this is the beauty of it. It teaches you how to notice those things whenever you're mixing and mastering, because you're like the end of the journey when it comes to that song. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's like I could say like the first year I entered in with cordless. I mean, I can definitely say I was lost as far as like what I could mix down, how I could do it right. And I wasn't gonna rage quit, but I definitely was like, some bullshit. I know I had some bullshit, but I had to think about it too. Like if you're counting mixing in the production side of things, you have to take into consideration what you might hear as the producer on one front. It might not come out in the final result when it comes to the listener. So the judge is going to hear something different from what you heard when you initially had the beat, and when you initially mixed it, and when you initially had the rough draft. So there are elements that might get buried, lost. They might be too loud, might be too quiet. So those are things I had to learn. But like, over time, I've learned how to EQ a little better. And like make certain things thump, make certain things kind of float over the track. But it's still like a second foreign language to me, for real. Like it's still like this. Right.
Well, I mean, I do truly think now, after all this time, like I've fallen firmly in the camp of simpler is better. The less processing you have to do, the better. Like, you know, I said this last time. But at the end of the day, if the song is really good and the composition is good, no one is going to give a fuck how the mix sounds. Like no regular listener is going to sit there and be like, oh, you know what, that song was really great, but the snare was a little weird, so I don't like it anymore. Like that's not how anyone thinks when they listen to music. So I mean, I've tried to give up on that a bit, not, you know, say that I don't care about the mix at all, because I definitely do, but I'm not sitting over here doing version 20, 25, version 30 like I used to do. I'm done with the song by version 6 or 7. if I get to version 10, something has gone horribly wrong, and we might need to reconsider retracking or just coming up with a new beat. Because at that point, I mean, it's just you've done too much in the mix.
Right. They always say
start great.
They always say you like give your ears a rest too when you're like engineering and
Oh,
trying
definitely.
To, yeah, like if you don't give your ears a rest from listening to a mix for like that long, I mean, there's something off. It's like you got to at least take like a couple hours away from it and do something else, you know.
Yeah, I mean, depending on your timeline too, even taking a week is hugely beneficial.
Yeah.
To just forget about it for a while and come back to it, because a lot of times you realize, oh, I'm on mix version 20, but mix version 2 is actually the best one.
Right.
And I didn't realize it.
I'm a huge proponent. I have my VPC patented 2-step system, and so it's you get one day where I will mix for like 8 to 10 hours straight, and it's just fiddling knobs until like my ears are completely mush, and then I will come back to it for about 2 hours like the following day. Typically like later in the afternoon, like I will sleep on it. I'll come back, I'll listen to the song, and you'll get about 2 hours the next day to like fully dial it in. But it's that like you get one full day, and I will just go crazy making every tweak possible until I can't think straight about the song anymore. And then it's 2 hours the following day, and then we're just done. But yeah,
It's not a bad process. I don't think I could do that. I'm like maybe spend an hour, maybe 2 if I'm really just like locked in, and then I gotta walk away from it for a little bit. Like, you know, I think as we were all talking, the one thing that I always remember is that from a producer standpoint, there's going to be things in the beat that are more important to you because you were there for it. And the listener may not care about, right? So there might be like a little bell that you added that you played, and like you were like, this is the coolest little bell. So then when you're mixing it, you're like, well, I want to make sure people hear this, so you turn it up. And that's maybe the wrong move, right? Like maybe it should be a little bit more in the mix. So from producing music to then mixing it is like you almost have to switch your viewpoint. Like it's not about your production anymore. Now it's about how is the listener going to take this in.
You got to be willing to throw anything and everything away.
Yes.
And just be completely unbiased about it, which is very hard to do. But I think, you know, after you do it enough times, it does get easier. And I feel like I'm very quick to throw things away. If I start a beat and I'm not digging it within 15 minutes, I'm done. I'm moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's I know time is running fast for us, but
it's fun to chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We should pick something that we should pick something we didn't mention though. Like I almost feel like that it'd be like, I don't know, because I kind of feel like we all kind of named kind of the same ones to a degree. Yeah. And like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what was a joint that I didn't mention.
Let's see. Running through some of this.
I don't know that any of us mentioned Young. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. It's been
Sullivan.
It is.
Oh yeah, Sullivan. Yeah. I mentioned him earlier.
It's not Young Sullivan.
It can be if you want. Yeah.
Too. Shout out to Young Sullivan, man.
That's
Nice,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Let's run the Spandex Moose song real quick.
Yeah.
It's just a part of it.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. That was a fun one.
Right.
Hey man, you got something to eat up in there? We hungry.
Dear Dom, I'm trying to live my life a quarter mile at a time, but I don't know how. Can't afford a charger, but my father's got a high ace that I'm racing now. These days, Brian's not a real common name, so my best friend Simon, but we put an OS tank in the back seat, so you best believe that we're ripping it up. Ha! Ha! I put 20-inch rims on the van, got a supercharger sitting in the cab. God damn! I think my dad's gone crazy. Every time I race, he flips out. It's shady, man. No one knows you better than I do, that's the truth. Anyways, I just want to say thanks. Get me in and we'll do the thing. Spin and hoobastank. Truly yours for the record, this is Frank. And the reason is, we go fast, we get furious. Pop the hood if you're curious. We want to join the crew, have a few Coronas in the motor while you're busy interviewing us. Barbecue with us. We're both going bald and we'll be there soon. I just think we can zoom with the best. I assume that you'll see that's true when you have a rendezvous with us.
That's over there.
I want to say one thing real quick before I forget.
Yeah.
When we were talking earlier about like one thing to like hook you and make you think about the song later on. For me on this one, it was that thing right before the chorus where it goes, and the reason is like because of that Hoobastank like reference, like it just gets stuck in my head. Every few days I think about that.
About Hoobastank?
That part that they recorded specifically, like in his voice, like it just runs through my head randomly every couple days.
Yo, this song is silly though. I don't want to say I couldn't rank it high because it wasn't like done right. It was just silly though. I was like, I didn't know what to make of it at first when I first heard it. It was just in some of the rapping, I was just like, he's talking about 20-inch rims and it's like in the delivery of it, I was just like, I can't believe that you would have anything with 20-inch rims on it, but okay, I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you bark. Go ahead. It was just funny. I was like, I don't know how high I can rank this, but it was entertaining in what it was accomplishing.
Yeah.
A very complicated hook. It sounded like over that, the classic, BDP sample. But yeah, those guys are funny.
Spandex Moose, they're just so gifted at like. I get angry at their songs for like how dumb it is, but then like it will stick in my head for like the next 3 weeks every time, which I think is like that's a talent, right? Where I'm like I hate that I like this kind of vibe. Where I'm just like it's so off the wall, and they've done several VPCs now, right? So like they've had some I think like genuinely hilarious entries, but they're also really good at getting stuck in your head. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They had something from the last one where we had to flip that. We were stuck on an island. We had to take the same record. They did some silly shit. I was just.
Yep.
I was like, just throw the round away out.
Yeah, they're a great example of like high entertainment.
Yes, they are.
And so like. The mix is almost less important. There's elements where you're just like, okay, this is fun. Like I'm enjoying this. I'm having fun with it. I will say from a production value, like I feel like it needed more low end. And I think
it needed a lot of things.
Yeah. And that's all kind of stuff that again, I don't know how familiar this producer is with sampling, so that could be a big part of it playing into there. But yeah, it's just it's goofy, it's fun.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I mean. Like the song was memorable enough that the mix didn't really matter. Like it wasn't a great mix. I'm just gonna say it, but it was still fun to listen to. So who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. Well, cool. Do we want to run another one?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be nice. We should let Sean Solo grab dinner here in a second. Throw some Garbage Gang on.
Oh, shit.
We'll play a little bit of it.
If it used to be okay, but it's not okay anymore, maybe you should do something about it. If it's not better, if you're dealing with cruelty, with neglect, then you should do something about it. So, yeah, fuck 'em.
Why get down? You could get even. They was laughing at your pain and kicked their teeth in. Don't let them drown you out when you were speaking. You finally found something to believe in. Why get down? You could get even. Why get down? You could get even. Why get down? You could get even. Why get down? You could get. Just step on your neck. If you give them a second, I bet they think they holding it dead. So why would they give you respect? Fuck what you needed. They worried on what they collect. They acting like demons. So really, what did you expect? Ain't no point in getting angry and knowing about yourself. No one got no time for saving. No one, you best tighten up your belt. Go get easy. Why sit on your hands if they spit in your face? I'm throwing them shits. They give you some grace if you stay in your place when you know that it's tricks. If you wait for a nice day and wait for the right way, quit taking a higher road, start taking a highway, put a hole in their shit. Give out that mercy that they gave you. Give out that pain, no
All right, I'm gonna stop it there. I have notes. Should I start with notes?
Start your notes, man.
Start with notes. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I've listened to enough of this duo that I have a pretty good understanding of like kind of their structure and how they work and everything. This one definitely, I feel like from a vocal mix, feels way too stereo. There's like so much stereo that's happening here that the like middle is gone. I don't like. It's almost like there's like a core like mid section that's gone. Normally it's where the vocal kind of lives, like your core vocal kind of lives in that center, but the vocals mix so far left and right, and then all the instruments are far left and right, and I feel like the drums are far left and right, and maybe even the bass is far left and right. So which just has kind of this I don't know, puts if on the right speakers, like probably like listening to this on like a mono speaker, you wouldn't notice it as much. But listening on proper like stereo speakers, you can feel this weird separation that's happening. So that's my big note. Weird stereo effect happening here. And then my second note is that the vocal is I think there's a duplicate vocal happening here. So there's like a low tone and a high tone, but they're the same take. So like one take, two separate, but like duplicated, mixed very differently, maybe an effect on the lower one to kind of pitch it down or to give it like a growl to it. But again, it's missing some mid. So like the high feels very tinny, very cell phone tin to it, like sheen. But then the low growl doesn't like fill in that mid. It's like more just like this low growl that kind of mixes with the bass. So there's just like some elements that are kind of missing. But I do love, normally Sean goes crazy with drums and it's just like chaos constantly. I love the dip to just like piano and vocals. Like I feel like Sean doesn't do that enough. But that does work for the song right here.
Yeah.
I think Sean do it so on just to fuck with me, man. I think because I made that comment. It was like for the wrestling round, I was like, yo, I want to hear like a Griselda kind of entrance on your songs, so don't disappoint me. He was like, well, you're going to be disappointed. I was like, oh, you're being consistent after all these years. He was like, my job is done. I'm like, come on, Sean. You do better, man.
That's Sean's goal, is to be, if you're not disappointed, Sean did something wrong.
Nah, man. Have faith in yourself, man. Have faith in yourself, son. Come on now. Now, I'll say this. I think for the competition of what they're doing, a lot of people aren't doing enough of it, but at the same time, maybe I need to listen. Maybe I need to wait some more in the VPC to hear if they switch it up some more. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Sean I've heard some stuff about Sean where he's made some beats that are really cold, and I don't like that shit. You know? And Lex is talented. Lex can sing, but I mean, personally, I don't think he needs to have autotune on his voice like that. I just, like, that's just my opinion. And he can rap his ass off. So, this didn't rank as high as I liked it to. You know what I mean? But, I mean, they're solid, talented individuals as a group. Garbage Gang. I hope y'all change the name too. Damn it. Look, I like what y'all trying to put forth, but give me something more. You don't have to be all boom bappy. You don't have to like you make any dance. But I definitely have heard like more from y'all before, man. And that's speaking as somebody that's followed y'all in the VPCs y'all been in and been like, okay, I see y'all developing. I like where you're moving, but this time I'd like to see more because I care. There you go.
I will take the counterpoint. So funnily enough, and I'll share this. This was my number one vote for this round, which and what's funny is like I agree with all the criticism, Bill, that you had about like the mix, but I'm like I think purely in terms of like song composition for this round, this hits like the nicest part for me of like solid composition for like the actual rapped vocals. The singing comes through, like there's a very strong like hook or melodic component that I think carries, and then like the mix was clear enough, and I get you on like the stereo separation or like some of the mids maybe being cut too hard, but I'm like None of that necessarily bothered me at the end of this, and like I've also been listening to, you know, Sean and Lex like since they've started competing in the VPC, and like I don't think this necessarily like innovates on the formula, right? Like to your point, like I don't think Lex needs like all the autotune on his voice, but like this felt like a case to me in this round in this playlist where that formula like worked really well and kind of like was one of the more memorable songs of this round to me. So that is my defense of this song is like it stood out to me in that it's like a well-defined structure, everything kind of works and kind of fits in. But yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I don't think it's wrong. I think it's I think with the two of them, because they've done stuff so much, there is a level to them also trying to push each other and make it hard for each other. You know, like I think that Sean's making production to push Lingo, and Lingo's trying to like really give them some, you know, something to really like have to fight with to wrangle in, which is not a bad thing. It's a tough thing to do in a competition because the time frame's so light, but it is good to push each other. So
right.
You know, and actually that was one of the things I wanted to bring up from a production side, because there's 3 weeks, right? So like, how do you all structure your timeline? You know, like, do you have like as a producer, I need to have the beat done by this time, and then for the vocals, I need the vocals back by this time, and then I need this amount of time to mix and kind of hone in the sound. Do any of you have like a kind of a primary structure that you use when you're working in this scenario?
For me, like this, I mean, usually I try and get the beat to beefy as fast as I possibly can. But we've been doing stuff like making 2 new songs every month for the past 4 years, so we feel pretty confident in our ability to improvise at the last second if we need to. It's come down to creating 2 songs over the course of 1 weekend if we have to. But these days, I think for me, like, you know, with the kid and all the changes in my life, I really just try and squeeze in time wherever I can. So knowing that I do have limitations now more than I used to, if I get 30 minutes to sit down with my laptop, I'll try and pump out as much as I possibly can for him. So not so much a timeline, but I do want to give him at least a week to write and record his vocals. And so far it hasn't been that way, but at the moment I've only given him a 16-bar demo. I gave him 2 different styles to choose from, and he picked a style. So now I actually have to expand on that style, and I'm planning on doing that this week. It may push into this weekend, but I'm going to really try and get him something by Thursday. So as far as like having a set timeline, no, that's all out the window these days, unfortunately. I wish I could do that, but it's just too hard. So no, we're just going to wing it and do the best we can.
Yeah, I usually go through drafts of the beat and send it to whoever I'm working with and being like, all right, how about this? And it'd be like a partial draft of the beat just to make sure it's going in the right direction. And I don't want to say I have a set deadline, but I try to finish the beat within, let's say 5 to 6 days. I try to like only so if I can send a draft over to the vocalist, maybe they can at least get a sense of the idea to already start writing. And then by the time I get the vocals back, I have like at least a good week, maybe I can like mix it down. You know, it doesn't always work out that way because, you know, life happens, technology fails, all that shit. So, but that's usually my process. Because when I mix, I'm in hell. Like, I'll just say that right now. I'm in hell in my mind and wondering if things sound right, things are sounding off, something, or maybe I might need a re-record from the vocalist because something didn't come out as clear. So at least like, yeah, actually, Bill, how you said it is about a week for like the beat, a week for the vocals, and a week for the mixing. It's about that around that time frame actually.
Yeah, I know on mine it's always just trying to get something to the vocalist like as quickly as possible. So like I'll usually have like a quick conversation with them, and then I'm a big fan of just trying to shoot like a skeleton of the beat over. So I'll be like, here's a quick like render of what I'm thinking for a verse, and here's what I'm thinking for the chorus, and then like all of the rest of it I'll kind of like build out on the side. But the idea to me is get like the minimum thing the vocalist can record on, and then like we'll kind of be able to build out in parallel. So I try and maximize that like parallel time, because then I can obsess over the mix until I finally kind of dial it in. But it depends. Some rounds it's always down to like the last minute anyway. So we'll get something down in like 2 days. But if I've got the time, if I'm being nice, I'll just try and get something over as quick as I can. But yeah.
Yep. Well, cool. Let's run another one of these songs. Maybe get 2 more total. I wanna listen to Imp and Navi. Does that sound good to everybody?
Okay. All right.
Imp and Navi.
Some think I'm crazy, that my brain cells are looser, but truthfully, I'm just a clone of myself from the future. I've seen enough to know just how the cookie will crumble, and when the war hits your front door, I'll be here to debunk a couple. Computers have already beaten the communists at chess. Pretty soon they'll be beating humans. They're obviously vexed. Fidel Castro stole my lawnmower to make a submarine to progress. One by one, your friends will desert you, and yes, I'll be next. Peanuts are emitting toxins as evolutionary defense. They're tired of being eaten, it's revolutionarily direct. 2-for-1 pizza coupons are there to fatten you up. The Red Cross removes your entrails just to put on another one. Tell me, is there any proof of why he exists? To read your encyclopedia, it'll deny the king with it. I'm unsociable, unsmokable, truthful in the quotables. Most definitely not crazy, dear listener, I'm unknowable. I'm Rusty Shackelford. I'm Rusty Shackelford. That shit so kinda nice. That shit so kinda nice. That shit so kinda nice. I'm Rusty Shackelford. I'm Rusty Shackelford. That shit so kinda nice. That shit so kinda nice. That shit. I love my son Joseph, but I wonder how he got so athletic. We don't look alike, sound alike, nor do we have the same interests. Discovery Channel told me it takes 9 months to develop babies. 9 months before his birth, shoot, I wasn't with my lady. I was 500 miles away studying alien abductions. The missus had a headache keeping her far from the function. I told my buddy Johnny keep watch over Nancy in my absence. Take good care of her should anything ever happen to the strapping young Shackelford. Alias for my namesake, stalking space travelers traveling through the spaceways. I'm telling you, these aliens knew I was getting close to the truth, whatever that means. Honestly, I wouldn't know it, but look, they probably got my wife pregnant with their souped-up space shoes to keep surveillance on me. They keep me distant from the breakthrough. No other options around here could be my son's real father, but either or whatever, I love my son regardless. I'm Rusty Shackelford.
All right, I'll bring it back over here. What do we want to discuss with this?
So I've watched King of the Hill a lot of times, so I was excited to see this one pop up. I liked it. I thought the production was fun. It was good. The delivery was good. This was one of the ones that I did decide to pay attention more to the lyrics to, and I think it was a good celebration of a great character.
Right.
It was fun to listen to. I don't know if it made my top 5, but I did enjoy listening to it nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree with you on it. I think what threw me off, because I like the elements of his flow with the beat. I think it complemented his voice and his flow a lot. The only problem I think I had, and I kind of feel like it would have made a difference in the track, is that the intro leading up into his vocals were a little too long. Kind of feel like the timing on that could have been shortened.
Mm-hmm.
But the second part where the beat switches up, that was like perfect. I kind of feel like something in the beginning should have been done a little bit simpler. But I like how the hook bounces back and forth on Rusty Shackelford with the sample. That was actually a good touch to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I had this in the top 10. But yeah, I think that intro kind of threw me off to like how much better it could have been, So, but I like it though.
Yeah.
PZ, how you feeling?
There are things where I'm like, I think Navi does a lot with like the kind of offbeat or like kind of bits of production that I know are intentional, but that like kind of throw me out of my element. And like I recognize that like I'm a very obsessive compulsive person, so like I recognize that this is just like built to trip me up kind of thing. I loved the flow. Like this has a strong hook. I'm like there are, I think, certain parts of this song that just kind of take me out for a minute, and I'm like, I wish this would have just been like straightforward to the floor. Like I would have been, you know.
I'm with you. I think the structure could use some work.
Yeah. And I'm like, I really respect Navi as like a producer, a songwriter, like all these things. So I'm like, I get that this is done with intention, right? So I don't want to. What I don't want to do is come across as like, oh, you know, it would be better this way. I'm like, no, that this was an intentional artistic choice, but it's just like, thanks, Navi. No, but no, I'm just like, I know it's intentional. It's just like, I don't think it's the right choice for me, you know, in terms of how it was constructed. So I'm like, yeah. Anyway,
Right.
no, I enjoyed it. This is actually in my top 10. It doesn't quite crack my top 5, but I'll just be straight up. It's at number 6 for me. So I liked it, right? It's just like there are little bits where I'm like, oh, this could have been so much stronger to me as a listener if it had just done like a couple things a little bit differently. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would say, so for me, this is definitely like in my top 2.
Nice.
Yeah, like I love the texture. Navi always, like, Navi puts texture over everything, and I love that.
Yeah.
It's like, forget the rest. The texture is what's important here. And there's like, as soon as I saw this name, you know, like these two names together, I already knew what to expect. So I was like, this is going to be amazing. So I'm almost like, I love that these songs are coming out in this fashion, in this competition, but I'm so much more ready for like the album that comes out and then the tour that they do. And then the merch run that comes from this. Like that's like, I can see it already.
Which by the way, like this is all I wanted from this VPC was like, I want people to make albums or like do shows or just like push.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I'm so happy if any of that comes to pass, but yeah.
Right.
I'm not familiar with Imp either though. Like I can't lie. Imp caught me by surprise with his flow. Like I was Imp in like other VPCs before, or is like a newcomer or what?
I don't believe they've been in other ones. I could be wrong about that. I've played a couple like online Twitch stream shows with them, and so I've gotten to see some of their like how they do like their live stream stuff, and I've been a fan since the beginning. I feel like I saw one where they were like in their driveway, like outside in the driveway, and like streaming, and it was amazing. The beats are amazing. Like what they do on their own without Navi is amazing. And then adding Navi into the mix, just, you know, is like, it's unstoppable to me, at least personally. I love what they put together. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
That's what's up.
All right, let's see. How are y'all doing on time? We got a couple more minutes. Everybody good for a couple minutes?
I got plenty of time.
I do want to hear Dappersaurus though. I'm not going fake.
Okay, we'll do Dappersaurus and then we'll finish with our sponsor. I'll go with that.
No doubt.
All right, Dappersaurus first.
Skeletor to King Randor. Skeletor to King Randor. Come in, you royal boob. I don't like to feel good, I like to feel evil. I'm bad to the bone and I like to hurt people. Got a staff in my hand, my magic is lethal. Keep staying on brand, competition is feeble. I must possess all or I possess nothing. You can think that I'm crazy, never think that I'm bluffing. Hit like a knee to the stomach or the paint that you're huffing. Don't try to change my ways, I keep on corrupting. The simple-minded stay surrounded by fools, but they do what I say, so I use them as tools to serve my dark purpose. Definition of cruel, ain't got no scruples. Please believe I'll cheat in a duel. could write a book about what you don't know. The king of deceit, the prince of low blows. Sounds like the back of my hand when the beat slaps. Skeletor the villain, spell the name in all caps. Here to make them say yeah. Top of the food chain, don't quit your day job. On me to rule, turn all of your heroes ain't making me stop. Protect, I attack, I give you fun facts. Line after line for you to run back. Here building a reign that's unmatched. Drop tracks for the love, now you can bump that. Remember being born's a life sentence. Step up to bat, I swing for the fences. Underworldly driven, can't beat the obsession. Classes in session, I'm teaching life lessons. Permitting myself to be fabulous. Make sure the cape is immaculate. Bad bitch at my side, the kingdom is mine. Dropping gems from my mind until the next time. Everything comes to he who waits. And I have waited so very long for this moment.
Alright, we'll leave it at that one.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just something about how all that fit together for me when I heard it. I was just like, it gave me. It reminded me a little bit of Buck 65 when I used to listen to his earlier records, man. Especially they had that record. It was him at 6'2" had that record Sebutones, and like they would have like some thumping drums and the shit. And for me, I think the delivery of the message of being Skeletor, it was just like it kind of worked. And then the hook might have been a little convoluted, but I kind of like how the melody comes in with it, and then he just comes in with something weird like about Skeletor in there. I don't know, it worked for me. So yeah, that was my winner for the round.
Yeah. I think this is probably the highest I've ever scored like a Dappersaurus song in my my vote or my rankings. So, you know, even again, like I think this VPC has a lot of, you know, teams that have been working together for an extended period of time, right? And you kind of learn like how each other work. And like I love seeing the growth and development of people. And I feel like I've even called out like Dappersaurus in some of like my reviews from years back, like calling out like the growth and development of this duo. But like I don't think I've ever actually scored one of their songs as highly as I did for this one. So no, this was impressive to me. But yeah.
Yeah, I really love the production on this one. This is going to be so specific and weird, but the boom of the kick on the sample here, I felt like that sat in the mix really well. It just sounds really good everywhere I've listened to it, and I think overall it's really. This shit's fire. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. But yeah, that's a fun one. The hook too, like those background vocals especially, like that's what kind of gets stuck in my head when it pops in there every once in a while. And I know that those backup vocals, were those sampled? Or was that from one of the samples, or was that actually them?
Offhand, I'm actually not sure.
I don't know, and that's the beauty of it. Like it was great, and I don't know if they recorded those or if they were from a sample. So great job.
Samples. They were samples. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it sounded great.
Yeah, this was a good one. I over the years, like Hobbs is just always growing as an artist, and I love watching it. And it's like, Hobbs kind of has a style that is not always my go-to favorite style. Like it's not like, but when Hobbs locks in, it's like, oh, this is undeniably good. Like it can really connect some dots in a way that like. I enjoy, and I've had the opportunity of getting to hang out with Hobbs and like knowing them personally and listening to the styling and everything. It's like, okay, I get it. I understand the vision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then from a production side, I mean, the beat is great. The only thing I would maybe add is like a little more crunch to the drums, but that's a personal thing. I think like there's a lot of reverb on the drums, and to me, sometimes a little bit more crunch or a little bit more saturation could have added that character without as much reverb. But I love where it sits as well.
Yeah. This is gonna make me want to see if I've been missing something with Dabasaurus too, because I'm with you, Matthew. I haven't ever like scored them high, you know,
right?
And it was never like, but they were never bad either. You know what I'm saying? So it just made me question, like, damn, maybe I wasn't listening close enough, you know, and like like seriously, it kind of makes me wonder that. So. Shout outs to Hops on rapping his ass off, man. Or rapping their ass off, you know, on the track and the beat, man. Like it just good shit. Keep up the good work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very true.
I do feel like if you do go back through like the Daprosaurus catalog, like you will very quickly kind of watch this team come together. I feel like this execution is kind of like it represents the best of what this team can do, I think, when it kind of like fires on all cylinders. So like there's a lot of good stuff that I think comes together here, but yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Very true. All right, let's run this last one.
The sponsors?
Yeah, we didn't get to mention our sponsor, Beef Corp.
Beef Corp. We paid a lot of money to get this spansorship.
It's true. It's true. Part of the deal is that Tanner has to be here with us.
The payola and VPC.
Tanner doesn't want to be here. We don't want Tanner, but you know, sponsors are. That's how it works.
You don't get paid Bitcoin, it's beef coin, huh? That's what it is.
Yeah. The newest crypto on the scene.
I did want to say, if this is the last one, I'd be okay if there's someone in the chat who we didn't get to listen to that wanted to be played.
I would vote we still do this, but maybe after, like if we've got the time, maybe we lightning round a couple. I'd be down. I've got the time, but I'll leave it to y'all.
How are y'all feeling? You got time? You good?
Yeah, I'll probably have to bounce soon, but if y'all did that would be great. I'll listen in the background while I'm doing baby dishes.
Gotcha.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's run Art Crow.
Yeah.
Listen to a little bit of that. Kind of spend a minute. Yeah. Here, I'll play that one.
Hero.
Now, son, here, come here a minute. Grab the end of this part. Roll out the welcome mat.
Highest classy, I'm in the house like I'm Kyle Massey. Tell your mom to stop gassing me, I'm married. Tell the barbershop that nerdcore is getting buried. If this is prom night, we're the only ones that's carried. Watch out, we're coming for you when ripping throats out. Art Crow, the goats now. You're stepping up to meet the challenge. Where were you the last round? We're winning every level, you should go and place your bets now. I'm digging up graves and laying all this pipe down so I can travel through the neural network of dead folk. Jumping on the heads of people that saying we not dope. Bitch, we're the bomb. Hit the flower now at the wrong time. My brand new world is fried. I feel Luigi now. I gotta go inside.
Very nice, man.
Mamma mia. Let's see.
Solid. Welcome to the show, National Public Radio.
Hi.
Great to have you here, and it's just wonderful. I really didn't dare hope that you'd be able to be with us.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't heard you play for such a long time, and
Stop it there. There's so much. You can run this whole song, but
Man, tugging at my heartstrings with that one, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I can't even say I almost had that with it. It fits in that's in a special place, man. That's in a special place on its own. Art Crow, y'all, yeah, man. That shit was dope.
late
I have no
90s
notes,
DJ Shadow, Newmark,
I was gonna say Madlib.
Madlib too. Yeah. Just that, like, it's just a collage of sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, every time I hear one of their songs, like, the vocalist just feels so comfortable behind the mic and having so much fun with it. Like, it just sounds like like it sounds great with little effort. Like it's just they're putting it out there and it sounds great. That's the best way I can explain it. Just effortless.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, should we run another one? Keep it moving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did have a request for Mechanical Peasants, which I saw separately in the Discord, if we want to run that one. But I vote we lightning round as many as we can before Tanner has to drop, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we should.
Music genre ever. There I said it. I said it. It's the greatest music genre ever. There I said it. I said it. For every bumper sticker and every graphic tee, for every CD every local band ever gave me. Thank you. Thank you very much. This one is for the people who raised me up. Get on the stage and strut. I'm so amazed you cut straight through a page and shut out all the rage and stuff that make my anxious inner child wanna quit. But every day you wake up and get it. It's very nice to meet you, call me AJB. I'll tell you all my secrets, though they're not always free. You can buy my CD, but for a minimal fee, I'll get on stage and perform what is essentially my diary. Doing what I love, and I love what I do. And I do what I love because of you. So let's get loud for the peeps that started it. I'm so proud I can be a part of it. Found poem, no, the poem found me. I don't know what I'd be without poetry. Every beat is growing me, every lyric showing me. I don't really know what I'm here for, but I love nerdcore. Oh no, the poem found me. I don't know what I'd be without poetry. Every beat is growing me, every lyric showing me. I don't know what I'm here for, but I love nerdcore.
All right. That's a very nerdcore song.
Yeah. I want to call back. I have this immediate reaction because I know earlier we were talking about EQ, and like the thing was like don't pick main melodic leads that clash with like your vocalist's range, and I feel like that's kind of the crime or like the constructive criticism that I would really point out for this song is like a lot of those samples or melodies, right, like kind of clashed a bit with the vocalist's range, especially kind of in that higher end. So I was like, I think you can compensate for a lot of that with EQ, but again, it's a lot of work, and I'm like, I think slightly different selection for some of those backing sounds would probably make this a much stronger track. And then if you wanted to keep it, like I think there's just a lot of EQ work that has to go into making that work. But like from a vocal standpoint, like I get some, Schaefer the Dark Lord, like OG kind of, like some really strong nerdcore vibes here. So I'm like, the potential is clearly there. I feel like there's some execution issues, right, that stop this from being the best version it could be. But yeah.
Right.
It reminded me of, to your point, like classic nerdcore, if that makes sense. And like I don't know if this is like really self-absorbed or whatever, but it kind of reminded me of like the type of stuff I was making when I first got into nerdcore in like 2005 and 2006, like beat wise. And so it was kind of nostalgic in a weird way for me. But yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I mean, for me, I like the sentiment of it the most. Like I like that. That's such a good thing to have where you just like, yo, I'm thankful to be a part of this. The beat, it felt like the beat was trying to be a bit more inspiring, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was something. I think, Matthew, you're right about the register for the vocalist or the melody and matching up with the rapper. Like I feel like that kind of took away from it. But I really do like what the bars are saying. I did really like what the vocalists are saying. Some of the pockets of the flow kind of was off, but it was like on. So I don't know. I think overall just the sentiment and the concept was there, but execution wise, it needed a little work.
Yeah.
But I appreciate, like, I can appreciate some positive ass rap though, like positive shit about the scene that you're a part of, man. That's a good thing.
One interesting thing too, because I think we keep calling out like the classic nerdcore element of this, but this is this team's first VPC. Which also, right, like, I love like it's like the nostalgic or classic throwback, but it's like this is I think the first time this team has competed together, so there's like a fun dynamic to that to me. But yeah,
there you go. Yeah, see, they were having fun too, so
right.
It's not. Oh, am I just totally wrong? Okay, never mind then. Okay, I thought it was.
That's all right. That's all right. I could definitely. I wouldn't be mad if they were the openers at any of the touring nerdcore act, events. I'd be like, "Yep, this works. This makes sense." Yeah, it definitely hits a nostalgia to it. That's normally not a good thing, but it works here. Like I think there's some situations where it's like, okay, yeah, no, this is making sense in the realm. Yeah, I hope that I do want to see more from this group though. I do want to see a little bit more technical, from the production, a little bit more technical from the rapping. VPC is at its best when people are pushing their own boundaries. So, and even if they fall flat because they push their boundaries, like Sean Solo, then that's okay.
Garbage gang.
But yeah, all right, let's run this Young Sullivan while we're here.
Young Sullivan, you mean?
Bob, Don Crowder here's had a very nice arrangement. If I knew you were coming, I'd have baked the cake.
This one goes out to Ben Tarkus. By virtue of agreeing to judge this contest, you have taken upon yourself the most ancient and noble burden of hospitality. We're hungry. Beware of our appetite. We rolled a blunt out your knives, like the dwarf said. In your mama's bed, make her scream like a horse head. Force-fed pills like Lucille Bluth. They think the number one, but they're all Lucille twos. That's a cool hand, Luke. Open the pantry, let me scoop some small batch, tall grass, bamboo shoots, a babacanoose, crock-and-boosh with the harissa drizzle. No benders, cause the only fry I like is a frizzle. Eyes ruby bright red from the super green, big pink lick a tongue slurping every plate clean. We got the skills, the ideas, the abilities. We're singing Frank Sinatra in the Philippines, and that's what Bilbo Baggins hates. 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 Packing up the old Toby. Fist to chin, cause we're thinking about the homies. Aww. Let me spell the last one out in the next bar. When I say thinking, I mean the sculpture by Renoir. Yeah.
Actually, that's Rodin.
That don't matter when the Sullivans are at your house, your offspring splatter will punch a horse in its mouth, the be a gift or Trojan. It's Barbenheimer, we love pink and explosions. Call Jared Harris for the nuclear dosage. With Dr. Greg House together.
All right, I'll stop it there. Good old Young Sullivan.
Yeah, the Bilbo Baggins part, that's been stuck in my head for a couple days now.
Yep.
I like that Rafe has been taking more advantage of their voice on a track over the years with hearing Young Sullivan. They've been like, every time I've heard that group together, they just keep going up a notch, another notch, and I like this track. I didn't have it as high as I'd like to have it. The hook is funny. The hook is funny, but it definitely threw me off when I first heard it. I was like, Bilbo, what? So I had to listen to the lyrics again. I was like, okay, I see. But the production is very solid. The beat change. I almost thought they could have dropped the beat out completely. I feel like, did they later on? I don't know. It felt like when that beat changed and when it hit that bass synth, they could have dropped it and gone back to the main melody. But like other than that, man, I thought it was dope. I had it in the top 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good. I like, part of it is just because I know these two pretty well, and like I've had the possibility of sharing a stage with them and all of that, like really got to like get to know them and see them perform and see how everything functions. And I do feel like some of these VPC, at least these first two rounds, feel a little undercooked. Like if they were in the oven a little bit longer, like there's some things like that they are really good at that aren't shining here. But if not anything, and again, this is another group that is going to go back and drop an album and probably rework some of these songs and kind of fine tune them into what they need to be. So we're kind of seeing like an early version of some of the stuff, which I like. But yeah, just a little undercooked, but not in a bad way. It's just like, okay, this, might be a little too, the sound is a little too dark. Like it needs a little bit of brightness just to give it a little bit more push. A little bit more like chunkier drums that kind of are a little bit bigger, a little bit more in your face. And a lot of that, comes from just knowing their past catalog and what they're capable of.
Right.
That definitely is setting what I'm expecting, I guess.
And I know this round also kind of clashed with the schedule for Magstock, right? So like
sure.
if I use my context clues, this just kind of sounds like a round that was rushed a little bit more than it probably should have been. But
Right.
it's there. And to your point, it's just you go back, you polish it, it's ready for the album kind of thing. But yeah.
Right. It's exciting stuff. All right, let's do.
Beefy hopped in. Maybe we should.
Do we run Beefy? Y'all ready to finish this out with our sponsor?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I got
You're getting Brock beef coins, so let's
do
go.
it. Let's do it. Let's run it.
It's another personal album, gang, and this time we've got a real treat for you. A blue plate special with a tasty combination of piano, guitar, and bass. And here to serve it...
Me, I'm a beefy and now you're massive.
For the sunshine, stay because you got both to serve. Saying that you hit the big time. These gangs would like to have a word. We got those things you can't find in other corners of the world. I roll with a special carbine because these people never learn. They smile with a knife in your back, gaslighting that they can never be deceitful. I'd rather be in tequila, loud complaining that I have no equal. But had no fear, del perro here. I finally found my people. What good is bad when bad is good, and everybody is evil. Are we on for the night, or am I wasting my time? Are we over the line? I'm already alright. If it's all by design, I'm feeling fine. I'm fine, I'm ready to ride. I'm higher than that Vinewood sign. I'm ready to ride. Are you ready to ride? When the snapback tries to hold your mind, I'm ready to ride. Are you ready to ride? When the stars come out, every step blowing blind, I'm ready to ride. Are you ready to ride? This is my first ride, so baby, please be kind. I'm ready to ride. Are you ready? I'll never forget that night I met her outside the Vanilla Unicorn. Made more mistakes than I'd like to admit. In the back of a Chevelle Picador.
Yeah. The second verse, I really like the way that came in hot.
Yeah.
But also, I was really happy we had a song with like what I thought was a pretty good hook. Because it got stuck in my head even. But after quite a few hours of listening to it, you start to become biased, and it's like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of hearing this. And then I haven't listened to it since we submitted it, and so hearing it now, I'm like, no, that was actually all right.
I gotta say, I was just like, I remember hearing you guys at first. I was like, oh, this is pretty different. And then I didn't realize it was you, and I didn't realize it was Beefy. I was like, oh, no wonder. I will say that you definitely cracked my top 10 in the first two rounds already. I will say this. I do want to see what y'all do with something that's either mid-tempo or slower. It doesn't even have to be the next round. Like, rounds later, I wanted to hear this. I would like to hear y'all stick with this style, but then flip it some more, because I feel like you guys are already there with something, because you got the quality of the mixing and the production down already, and Beefy's like one hell of a rapper. So it's like y'all keep expanding on that shit and do something else, man. And but stick with that. I don't know how to describe that shit. Stick with that style that you got too.
Right.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it did kind of come together really quickly, and And you weren't here for the last one, but I told them that I bought my first guitar ever maybe like 3 months ago. So we're throwing it together, and that was kind of I think I had the same thought process y'all were talking about earlier, like wanting to see people push their boundaries. That was kind of what I wanted to do here. Like we've done so many VPCs before that was like, let's just fucking do something new and not worry about it.
Right.
Yeah, I will say like Beefy gets I think the worst of this, right? From me specifically, and it's because Beefy is one of those people I have been listening to for actually 20 plus years now. Like when I came in and it was Rhyme Torrents, like I have been hearing Beefy I think since 2005 or 2006. And so, I love a lot of Beefy's work. It is just like, but to your point, it's like that boundary has to be pushed now, right? Because every time I hear Beefy, I'm like, I feel like I know what I'm getting. And like this is, I will say like about the VPC songs that you guys have started submitting like for this one, I feel like you are pushing that boundary. Like it's coming across to me. I'm like, oh, this is a little bit different than what I've heard before. So yeah, no, I enjoy that. But yeah,
yeah. And I think we kind of felt the same way too. Like it would just be fun to do something different because I've been working with him since 2006. Like you said, we started listening to him. So to do something, I mean, we've done rock leaning stuff before, but we haven't done full on rock band type songs. So to do that has been a lot of fun, and we are legitimately going to do a full album like this.
That's what's up.
It's coming to the Patreon. You have to subscribe to the Patreon.
Patreon.com/beefiness. Give us your money. I got a kid to feed. Give us your money.
Oh, actually, hold on. I got a question. Beefy had the donut chain, right? Did he have the donut chain?
No, that was Billy.
I think that's Billy the Fridge. Yeah.
I want to make sure. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I have that right. Sorry.
Yeah. Both
Sorry,
Pacific
Beefy.
Northwest rappers.
Sorry, Beefy. I wasn't trying to mix you up.
I mean, I am the same. I've been listening to Beefy and Tanner for a long time, and I've always loved what they do, and like it's very locked in. It's always locked in, so it's nice to see this little bit of a push of like, all right, we're gonna try to do some different things, use some instruments that we haven't used, like really push the boundary. Because I mean, as we know, Beefy is pretty much unstoppable, right? Like you put something in front of Beefy, and Beefy will figure it out, and. Beefy is from the generation of this type of music, so like this is not that far out of the wheelhouse realistically. My couple notes is I wish the drums popped through a little bit more. I
was thinking about that from our last conversation.
Yeah.
I did do the sidechain trick, but
you did. Okay, cool.
I was trying not to push it. I mean, I probably should have pushed it a little harder, but
that's fair.
The main thing I was struggling with was getting the snare to pop the way I wanted.
Yeah.
With samples I was using laying under the drums because there's actually multiple drum samples going on. I was thinking about exporting the song with just the samples because it's almost like its own beat in a way.
Right.
But I have not done that yet. Maybe I'll do that for fun later.
Try that sidechain EQ. And see if you can get that to like pop through a little bit, and like just pick whatever like the dominant snare is to be the one to push, or send all of your snares to like their own group and have a snare group that's sending.
There is a snare group.
There is. Okay, good.
Yeah, and I think there's a master bus for the drums, and I think it was pushing back on it a little too hard.
It was keeping.
And I think I need to maybe do a parallel mix on that a little more because I think I had the parallel mix on the drum bus compressor at like 60%, maybe bring it down to 40% even. So there's just a slight bit, but allowing the transients to jump out a little more intensely.
Right.
That's what I want. Is like a harder snare too. So I'm on the same thought process as you, I think.
Are you running any like tape simulators on your drums?
On the master bus, actually.
Okay.
The one that we were talking about in our private chat earlier, Tape.
Yeah.
TAIP from Baby Audio.
Yeah.
That one has a really wicked sound to it, and I think it's really helped push the mid range in a way that rock music needs it.
Right.
I've actually tried it previously on some of our regular tracks, but like I said, I think it just helps rock music and that type of stuff, some of the harder stuff a little more than it does the hip hop. just not tape simulators in general, just that one specifically, because it does
Right.
have a way of the mid range that I think is more friendly to guitars than it is maybe synths.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, my suggestion is a little bit more drum, a little bit
More
more
drums. I'm a
more
drummer. I
pop.
love it.
Right.
Do more drums.
Right. And then from the flip side is for like Beefy side, like Beefy is part of my favorite part. My favorite parts of Beefy songs are the zany parts.
Yeah.
So like, and I get that this is like a little bit of a different. This is kind of like you guys are taking a different road right now, but if more zany, I want zaniness. That's
Get weird with it, Beefy.
That's my request. But yeah, no, I mean it's great, you know.
Thanks.
Cool.
And yeah, if there's anything you guys fucking hated, I want to hear that too. So.
Yeah.
Full Bugs Bunny. Okay, I like that. I'm down with that. Amazing. Well, I say we call it at that. Anybody have anything else we want to touch on before we go?
Hey, look, man, if y'all got mad about any of my criticisms, man, y'all ain't got to fucking listen to me. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm just saying, you know, if you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's just something that I heard, something that we all hear. You know, somebody's going to hear something differently. But I just want to commend y'all for stepping into the VPC and just putting your best foot forward and being creative and doing the damn thing. You know, if life is lifing and you got through that, you got through the round, was able to like put something out there, you should consider that accomplishment and a win anyway. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very true.
Along the same lines, I'm a very big proponent of if you think you don't have time, just do it. Because that was almost me. I thought there was no way I'd have time to do this on top of everything else going on, and I was like, you know what? I'll just do it. I'm not gonna put any thought into it. I mean, not like completely thoughtless, but like I'm just gonna put my ideas out there and roll with them and see what happens. And I think it's worked out for the better. Like it's really challenged me in a lot of different ways, and I'm glad I'm doing it.
Exactly.
I'm just glad you got your priorities straight. So
yeah, this is number one. I come home, I say
VPC, kid, and then you know.
I walk through the door and I say hi to my wife and kid, and then I go into my cave. No, it's not that bad at all, actually.
Your real job. Just putting this music out.
Yeah.
No, I hope everybody's having fun. I really that's what I'm like, if we can challenge people in ways that kind of like help them explore something different or like try something they haven't really done before, grow a little bit more, like I'm here for it. So like I hope I just hope everybody's having a good time. But yeah,
very true. Well, cool. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. You're a wonderful host.
Thank you, sir.
I'm terrible, but y'all are holding it together, so that's what matters.
We're looking forward to the third round. So there you go.
Yeah. Let's see where this all goes, because there's some teams that I'm definitely paying attention to more than others, but that could shift. You know, somebody could really lock in something that will, make me pay attention. So
I'm really excited about this next round. So looking forward to hearing what everyone's got. All these WWE style intros. I hope I hear a lot of like 90s style shit. Like that'd be great.
Griselda intro, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna work.
More importantly, I'm excited to see how many videos we get. I think that's going to be really fun too.
Yeah.
We were initially toying with the idea of making the video mandatory. Like that was the initial version of this round. And I was kind of like, I don't think we would have so many people drop. Like yeah. So it got pushed back, but like I hope people just throw a video in. Like yeah.
Don't take yourself too seriously. Just have fun with it.
Speaking of videos, wasn't it Navi that did like a stop motion video or something one of the years?
I'm not sure.
I feel like I remember Navi doing some crazy like puppet work or something like so over the top. I don't know. Maybe it was somebody else. I don't know, but I'm excited though, because video stuff is very challenging. I'll put it that way. So if anybody does any video stuff, that's a win.
Well, so it was encouraged, right? But the idea, I think, is I needed it to not be tied to the score, because it felt to me like it would be such a night and day difference
Right.
of like, oh, I just happen to have like a, you know, massive video studio or like whatever. So I was like, yeah,
I've got
we'll
a
just figure it
red
out.
pocket cinema or whatever.
Or
Or that $10,000 lens.
Yeah.
Or you end up with people that know how to like do all that AI shit with a video. So
yeah,
there's that.
Hopefully that's not what's filmed here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Time will tell. It may
Yeah.
reflect in their score.
That's all right.
It's a gamble. Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. We're going to say peace, everybody. We'll do this again for the next round somewhere in there. So
Sounds good.
we'll figure it out. Maybe the Monday after, maybe the following, whatever the schedule makes most sense. So we'll talk about it. All right. I'm going to end the stream. Peace out, everybody.
Y'all take it easy, y'all.